Hi, guys, and welcome back to Self Care for Black Girls, a podcast where we relax, sip tea, and chat about bettering ourselves as black girls. I'm BB, and I'll be helping guide you to make better choices in your daily lives. Okay, so today's episode is another me time episode, and today's topic is all about money. So, today we're going to be covering saving, spending, and different ways that you can budget your money. To make sure that you're not spending money that you either don't have or that you need to be setting aside for a bill or savings or something like that. So I'm going to jump right into it because I have a lot of notes and I have no clue how long this is about to run. So I'm going to jump into it, and then if it's not too long, I'll talk some more at the end. But if it is long as I think it's going to be, then we'll just cut it off there, and I might do a part 2 to this episode. So let's get into it. The three subtopics for today's episode, like I said, are saving, spending, and budgeting. And the first one we're gonna start with is budgeting. Budgeting is very important for you to know how to do, whether you're on your own, married, or especially if you have children, because that's however many kids you have to keep up with their finances and expenses that they have, plus yours. But anybody can benefit it. You don't have to have kids to budget. I budget, and I am so many years from having kids, so budgeting is something you need to learn how to do. Because it can help you see exactly where your money is before it even goes into your account. So, and what I mean by that is, if you know what your paycheck is going to look like, then you can take that and then write down the check amount that you have and any money that you have in your account already, and then write down any bills and how much they cost, so you can see what's going to be deducted from that check without you going and impulse buying and buying something that you don't need, so it's really good for purposes like that. When you budget, like I was saying earlier, you want to include everything from bills to grocery, any leisure activities that you kind of have to plan for, savings, anything that involves money that's coming out of your paycheck. You need to write down on your budgeting list or in your budgeting book or wherever you plan on writing all of this stuff down. You need to make sure that you're including everything. And I know groceries can be kind of hard to estimate, but kind of, if you keep up with about how much you spend per month or every 2 weeks or however often you go grocery shopping, keep up with about how much you're spending so you'll know a decent number to round to. Budgeting also allows you to see if you have any extra money to do something spontaneous, or maybe there was a pair of headphones that you've been wanting for a while. If you budget correctly and don't leave any bills out, and you have enough put in your savings that you want, then if you have any money left, then you can go buy that pair of headphones, or you can go get ice cream, or you can go to an amusement park or something. If you budget, it can help you see any extra money that you have. Where was I? There are many different ways to budget. The way I do it personally is I write everything down. I know what bills come out of my paycheck, out of each paycheck in the month, so I know what to expect to come out of it every time I get paid. And if you don't know how to budget, I suggest going on Pinterest or going on Google and Googling different budgeting formats. You can also download there's so many apps out there that you can download that will budget for you. You just put in what's going to be coming out, and they'll tell you what you have left out of your check. So you can either hand write all this stuff, and like I said, there's apps. I mean, if you want, you could hire somebody, but then if you think about it, that's another bill coming out of your check. So I don't suggest that, but if you can afford it, I mean, do you. But like I said, there's many different formats you can choose from. You just find one that you like and works best for you and your time schedule. So yeah, that's budgeting in a nutshell. The next topic I want to talk about is a pretty cut and dry discussion. It's spending. Not everyone is a millionaire, obviously. So if you can't go out and spend money like you're a millionaire. Like, you can't work at a place like Walmart, not bashing anybody at Walmart, but I'm saying you can't work at Walmart and expect to go out and buy a Ferrari. Like, on a Walmart paycheck, that's just not gonna happen. So you have to accept the fact that you can't afford it right now and save, which is the next topic for it. You have to buy things that are within your budget. And if I feel like this topic, like, it's spending is so cut and dry, like I'm at a loss for words. So if you can't afford it, if you can't go and buy it and have sufficient funds, like a living fund in your account afterwards, then you can't buy it. And I also saw a post on Facebook yesterday or the day before. Well, that would be Monday. And it said that Jay-Z said that if you can't buy it twice, then you shouldn't buy it, then you can't afford it. Jay-Z said if you can't buy it twice, then you can't afford it. Which, I mean, it's spending, so it's, like I said, it's a pretty cut and dry topic. You either can afford it or you can't. Or if you can't afford it, make sure you have living funds afterwards. Don't go out and buy stuff that you know you can't afford, or that you might be able to afford, but you can't afterwards. There's nothing, you can't do anything. You can't buy groceries. You can't put gas in your car, stuff like that. So don't go out and spend money on something that you can't afford. Okay? Cut and dry, like I said. And then the final topic is about saving, which is, it's a pretty big topic because a lot of people don't believe in savings, or a lot of people don't know how to save, or whatever the case may be. You need to start saving ASAP. If your parents had you a savings account set up, then that's great. Don't spend any money out of it. Keep putting money in it because it will build interest. If your parents taught you about saving and you haven't if your parents taught you about saving but you haven't started or even considered it, I highly, highly, highly suggest you do. Especially if you're plan on going to college, you want to buy a house, you want to buy a car, you want to buy anything, or if you plan on traveling, or just to have emergency funds. I guess that's the biggest of all of those, besides a house, obviously. It's good to have money that you can rely on that's not going to affect how you live on a daily basis. And if you're saving, then that's the money that you can rely on. I've been taught about saving for a long time and didn't really pay it any mind until about a year ago. And I regret it, but you live and you learn. I wish I had saved a little bit more. School is expensive. Debts are expensive. Taxes are high. You cannot afford to not save money. It's possible to live without saving money, but it's, how do I want to word this? Saving now may put you in a bit of a struggle, but if you do save, even if it's like $10 whenever you can put money in there, that's $10 more that you'll have in an emergency than you would have if you wouldn't have put anything in the savings. And I suggest opening in a savings account somewhere, because if you're just saving and, putting your money in like a shoebox or something in your house, there's so many hazards that comes with that. The house could burn down, somebody could break in and steal it. Um, so many things that could happen, and then you're not building interest if it's just sitting in your closet. So you might want to consider opening a savings account. And I don't suggest opening a savings account in the same bank as your checking account, because if you overdraft your checking account, most banks will dip into your savings and take money out of that. So I don't suggest doing that. One way that you could contribute to your savings, and this is the last topic because this is the last portion, because this episode is getting a lot longer than I intended it to be. One way that you could contribute to your savings, and it could also contribute to your budgeting and your spending, now that I'm looking at it, is the I didn't mean to do that. Is the Raymond rule. The Raymond rule is where whenever you get paid, you take all the hundreds out of your savings. Whenever you get paid, you take all the hundreds out of your checking account and you budget with that and see how much, and whatever's left in your account is what you have to live off of, which isn't entirely true if you budget. If you budget, then whatever you budget as leisure money, you can add whatever's left in your bank account. Like, excuse me, say you got paid $652.72. If you follow the Raymond rule, you would take out $600 even, and then you would have to live off $52.72, which could be more if you budget correctly, based off of whatever your check is. So I highly suggest doing that. I highly suggest trying out the Raymond rule, and if it doesn't work, then find a means of saving that works best for you. But that's all that I have for this episode today. I feel like this episode was kind of like a ramble. It wasn't specifically, this episode didn't quite turn out the way I had hoped it did. But that's okay. Make sure you head over to the blog. I inserted a picture on the blog that explains the Raymond rule a little bit better. I also included 2 apps that I think really help with budgeting. Oh, well, one helps with budgeting, the other helps with saving. You can check them out, and make sure if you guys want to help support this podcast and the blog website, you guys need to head over to Patreon so you can donate. The web address is in the description for the episode. It's on the blog, and it's in the pre-recorded part of the end of this episode. So make sure you guys find it on one of those, and you can either do a one-time donation or you can donate monthly. It would really help because, y'all, I have bills. So thank you all for listening this week, and I'll see you all next week. Bye. Thanks for tuning in this week. If you have any questions about today's topics, want to share an inspiring story, or be featured in our monthly Q&As, send them to me at selfcarebgirl@gmail.com. Also, don't forget to head over to my blog at selfcareblackgirls.wordpress.com to see extra content, pictures, and links that were mentioned in the show. Spread the word. Subscribe, rate, and review us on iTunes. It really helps. To help support this podcast, you can send a one-time or monthly donation to patreon.com/selfcareforblackgirls, and you'll receive a special gift. Thanks again for listening, and don't forget to stay beautiful.